what a horrific way to die. It took days for the doctors in Ahmedabad to identify victims by DNA. That was the state of the remains of the bodies, so badly charred that it took days for even the final toll to arrive. I remember because there was a quote by one of the, I think, the head of the hospital, the civil hospital there, that he said that it's so bad that we can't give a toll right now. And they actually had to revise the toll, because at one point they said 275 and then it turned out to be 260. That's how bad the situation
It's 50
was.
tons of avgas. It's like a bomb. I mean, that went off.
Fully loaded, going to London. So I mean, fully loaded.
It's fully loaded. It's like a fuel air explosive going off there.
Yeah.
It's so tragic.
And yet you have that lucky one
passenger,
11A. Almost unscathed. I mean, some injuries, some critical injuries, severe injuries, but still unscathed.
Truth is
managed to walk out.
Stranger than fiction at times. Yes, he just walked out of the crash.
But Sandeep, to your not just to your point of what you said, but I do want to play the devil's advocate over here and talk about why should we not talk about pilot error or human error, because. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, air crash probes are not about blame. They are about understanding the factors that led to a crash. The error could very well happen because of something that went wrong with the airplane. Because like you said, it's 90 seconds. You've just taken off. Suddenly you feel you've lost thrust. You will take 2 seconds to realize and figure out what the hell is going on. It's quite possible that in that heightened state of alert, heightened state of stress, you might end up doing the wrong thing. It's human nature. And that's how many previous accidents happen. That's how, imagine if I am driving a car at a fairly high speed, something comes in front of me, it's quite possible instead of the brake, I might end up accelerating in stress, right? Mistakes can happen. No pilots are trained for stuff like this, but that's the whole point of investigations, right? To find out that stress point that led to that one mistake, so that stress point can never come again in the future. The reason I asked that, Sandeep, is because, like you said, and like we've discussed, there's a very sharp divide, which I find very sad, that, oh my God, you cannot even touch this topic. You cannot even bring up the point of pilot error because, hey, have you seen Boeing? They've been so bad. Yes, they've been bad. No. But would you say that just putting that hard red line, you cannot even talk about the pilots, that's a bit of a bit of a too much.
We need to talk about it, but the fact is that the circumstantial evidence in this is overwhelming. I mean, of course, there have been cases where there has been pilot error, or in several other cases, like I mentioned, there have been pilots have willfully crashed their aircraft, and that is a taboo topic. Not enough attention is given to it, possibly because it's so rare. Pilot suicide, it is spoken about in the past. But in this case, the kind of catastrophic loss of simultaneous fuel cut off to 2 engines, I mean, that suggests some kind of a technical thing. I mean, I'm not saying that is the only reason. We don't really know. We will possibly know when we get that entire CVR recording of all the events that preceded the conversation and followed that conversation. So this was, it's a little unfair actually to just pull out 2 lines from a possible long set of, back and forth between the pilots as this unfolded and led to that Mayday signal, which meant that, everything is lost. But we must talk about it, but, without trying to blame those pilots, because they're not there to defend themselves. I mean, that's, of course, one thing that we have heard. They're not there to defend themselves, but possibly they've left something in the CVR for us to know what really went wrong. Was it an accident? Was it, sabotage? Was it a hack? Did somebody hack the software of the aircraft? Is that even possible? All options must be examined. Now, this is the defense correspondent in me that's speaking up, that when you're looking at a heightened military situation a month after Op Sindhu, you're looking at several, malactors who are in the fray, who want to, pursue a range of options. Who knows? It could well have been a hack as well. That should not be discounted, right? That can never be ruled out. So I think every option must be considered. And finally, what is the most plausible, and which of course the technical evidence will tell you, and conclusively so. You will know what happened, and that needs to come out sooner rather than later, because otherwise then the speculation continues and other actors get into the into the theater, which is, like I mentioned, this is no ordinary air crash. It's coming at a time when you're looking at trade negotiations between India and the United States. You're looking at the reputation of a big company that's here. You're looking at another big Indian corporation that has bought this airline from the government. So there's a lot, I would say there's a lot of pressure on various people to keep the truth from being revealed. But that's the conspiracy theorist in me. But I mean, to put all of these doubts at rest, we need that report to come out quickly so that all of this speculation can be laid to rest. But like I said, the pressure on this case is overwhelming.
Overwhelming, true.
Because of the time that this crash happened, the geopolitics that's unfolding. You have the United States, which is on a rampage, and they would not. I mean, look, to my mind, how would the United States react to a crash report that points at a technical fault of the company that made the aircraft, of the OEM, right? There would be a considerable barrage of messages from the White House or from Capitol Hill, right? All of that is coming into play, and we've seen that in the past as well. There has been, overwhelming pressure, on airlines or on whistleblowers even, because at times the truth is very unpalatable, and these are not ordinary companies. This is not an ordinary country. It is the United States. It is Boeing. There are reputations that have to be protected. So the weakest, party in this whole thing is the pilot.
Yeah.
You can just blame everything on the pilot, and it all goes away.